All right, all right. Let's see here. Let's go through the checklist. It's Monday, right? Check. I got my P. Alexander wear on. Check. So you know what that means? It's money mindset time. Yes, let's go. The show where we talk to ordinary people who have done extraordinary things when they decided to take a chance on themselves, change their mindset, and go after it. And I'm so excited today for our guest that we have tonight. She is a CEO. She's a playwright. She's a writer. She's got a show. She's an advocate, and I call her a friend. And I'm just so grateful to have her. We have Nina Childs in the building. Let's go ahead and bring Nina on. Nina, are you? Oh, I see you connected. Hey, got the Game of Thrones background. There she is. There's Nina. What's going on? I can't hear you. Can you hear me?
Hola.
There she is. What's good?
What's going on, man? Long
Hi,
time.
friend. Look, I gotta do that again because there was a little delay on the audio, so we're gonna give you a round of applause one more time. Miss Nina Childs, y'all.
Hey, I love that.
How you been?
I love that.
How you been?
Man, just trying to maintain. I'm with you. Cheers. I took your advice. I got my drink together.
Well, then that's...
I'm drinking a little bit of rosé champagne.
Okay. Well, I got a little dark. You know, that's usually my money mindset go-to. So, welcome to the show, Nina. Thank you first and foremost. Thank you so much for joining me and being on this. I know you're a busy woman, and I just want to first and foremost say thank you for being a part of this.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So what we want to do is I want to start from the beginning, if we can, and just kind of talk through, you know, from corporate America to transitioning to, you know, doing your own productions and plays and TV shows, and we're gonna get to all that. And advocacy, because you're a big advocate, especially for your city. You ride hard for them. And a bunch of other stuff. So we're gonna get all into that, okay? If you don't mind.
Absolutely.
All right.
No,
cool.
I don't mind.
Awesome. So first and foremost, let's talk about your journey. So everybody that don't know, Nina and I, we work together. We're not gonna talk about where we worked at or the circumstances, whatever.
But he was my boss. We'll say that.
Okay. Yeah. Once upon a time, a long time ago.
Yes.
So we were both in corporate America. And I want to ask, because circumstances basically changed for all of us, and who don't know, basically they got rid of our position, right? And we all had to kind of find different things to do. So my first question, Nina, is, was it then at that moment when they got rid of the role, did you at that point kind of say, okay, I need to do my own thing, or were you kind of already working on stuff in the background? Tell me a little bit about that transition.
Well, because at the time I was still married and I had just had my second child, my last child. I was thinking like this couldn't be it, but I wasn't quite there yet. I moved to Chicago for a year, and then when I got back to LA, once I got back home, you know, that's where I'm from. That's when I was like, all right, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna step out on faith and just, you know, start writing and producing. So it was somewhere around 2014. But after they let our positions go, I was kind of thinking that, but I was still living the married life and kind of following my then husband around at the time before we finally landed back in LA. And then I kind of like decided to just start doing my own thing.
So boom, now you add a whole nother dynamic to this. So now we're in LA, right? which is not no easy feat, even if you're from there. So we're in LA.
Right.
2 kids, one relatively newborn toddler-ish, right?
Yeah.
And now we're looking at this point, no longer married, going, this is the time for me to start doing my own thing.
Right. I had one foot in my marriage and the other on a banana peel. And I just woke up one day, and I love the name of your show, Money Mindset. It's really a mindset, because I just woke up one day and was like, I'm a playwright. I'm a director. I'm a producer. I woke up and I remember like it was yesterday. And I remember the date. It's like, it just passed my anniversary. It was like August 14th or something like that. I literally wrote it down on a piece of paper. And then I just started going after it. And, 7 years later, I've done a lot. I got the divorce and I've done a lot.
So we're gonna talk about the lot that you did, but I do first want to start with something that you just said that is so awesome. Is one, yes, it's a mindset, right? And we're gonna talk about what shifted, what clicked, what was your attitude, but then also you said you wrote it down. That is so awesome to me, because a lot of people forget that one step, which is have a vision, write it down, make it plain. I'm about to start preaching. Well.
That's very biblical. Very.
Right, but that's important to have it in front of your face all the time. Would you agree?
Absolutely. That's what it was for me. I wrote it down and I kind of just stuck it somewhere where I could see it every day. And it just kind of reminded me to work towards that every day. So I just started working on my first play. I got the writing program and I just kind of started plucking away at it. And you'll be surprised how, God, the Holy Spirit, the universe, whatever you want to call it, will conspire to push you forward into your dream once you actually just decide to kind of take those first steps of faith. Because, I mean, even though I have a theater background, going back to being 5 years old, doing a lot of schooling and stuff, I had been out of the game for a minute. I had been married and having kids for like the last 7 or 8 years when I decided to take this step. So for me, it was just very important to just kind of be in a mindset of this is what you want. You got to take steps every day towards what you want.
Okay. So you are out of the game for a while and you're writing. This isn't acting. That's different, right?
Right.
You're taking on actually writing scripts. And we're coming from a corporate world, coming from marriage again, mom. What was it? Tell me a little bit about the attitude you had, because you mentioned it a little bit, just saying, I got to do this. What was the driving point behind all of that? Was it the kids? Was it just because this is something you desired? Was it because you're just like, yo, I know I can do this. Forget that. I'm just going to take a leap of faith and do me. Kind of describe your mindset for me. Then we're going to dive into some of your projects.
Well, I think my mindset at the time was just like, you know what I'm saying? I have all of the tools to make this happen. And once I make up my mind about something, I kind of have like a steamroller mindset about it. Like, it's like, I don't care who's with me or not with me. The right people are going to jump on board. The wrong people are going to jump off board. And all systems to go. Like, you just kind of like running through the street screaming, my dream, my dream, my dream. And certain people that are like, like what? You know what I mean? So my mindset was just like, come hell or high water, I'm gonna do it. I actually had gotten another corporate America job and was working in HR and stuff, funding my dream. And that's a very important part for everybody out there. I mean, unless you want to be sleeping in your car, you cannot forget, you know what I'm saying, that until things kind of like leverage themselves, you always got to have some kind of income coming in.
Gotta work somehow. You gotta have something.
Right.
All right.
Absolutely.
So let's transition off that. So now we know what Nina's mindset was, which was a money mindset. I got to do me. Who on board, who not on board, I'm rocking. And I love that attitude, because sometimes that's just how it is. And a lot of time, actually, we slow our own visions down when we try to bring other people along that ain't rocking at the same energy you rocking on, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. Or you slow your own vision down thinking that, oh, well, I need this to move. I need that to move. It's like, no, pick up your mat and go. Like
I need so-and-so to do it for me, blah, blah, blah.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. You just got to pick up your mat and go. Shit'll fall into place.
Talk about it. Yeah. Talk about it. Cheers to that. We're gonna clap that up, right? So with that being said, now you're getting started. Now we rocking, you working, but you rocking. What was the first project that you got started on? Because we gotta talk about the baby. We gotta talk about that movement. Which
Oh yeah, my baby. Uh,
but before that,
my first project was a sketch show called Scenes from the Clip. And I mean, if you know me, you know I'm like way crazy. But I mean, I think I'm crazy in a way that people think is fun, not crazy in a dark way. No, I don't have enough money to get eccentric yet, but that's what I'm working towards.
right.
So I have to get real eccentric out this piece.
Right.
That's what I'm working towards. But it was just all about mental illness. And it was a sketch play. It was done in 2 acts. It opened in January of 2015. It was sold out from start to finish. I think a lot of people were like shocked, you know, because I had taken such a long hiatus. Right. And I had, you know, a lot of ties in the theater community here in LA and people that I've come up with. And so I had a really great show run. So from there, I did it again. I did 6 plays, Marcus, in like 5 years. What? 2 of them for festival. Yeah. And 2 of them were award-winning shows. I won the last show I did for Hollywood Fringe in 2017. Yeah, I got a producer's award for her, so that was dope. Wow. Yeah.
So yeah. Wait a minute. So, and just so everybody watching understands, you putting these shows together, you're producing it. You're getting the Playhouse, renting the space, whatever, what have you, making sure
doing the casting.
Casting,
doing everything.
Wow.
Yeah. All by myself. So yeah.
6 shows.
6 shows.
Now, let me ask you this. Did you go out and actually partner up with a Playhouse, or did you just kind of get it wherever you placed it, wherever you could?
No, I you know what? It's so serendipitous. That's what I'm saying. Whatever you want to do, just go after it. I remember when I started looking for locations, I actually walked into one and I saw the guy. There was like this guy, he was promoting acting classes. And I'm like, wait a minute, I know this guy. He was one of my first acting teachers when I moved back from college in New York. And the woman behind the desk at the Playhouse was like, oh, that's my husband, Joe. I'm like, what? I'm like, and then he remembered me. And so I have a great relationship with their theater now because Joe moved up. Like, that's the thing. People move up and through the ranks through the years, you know, as you keep working and growing. Right. So he went from teaching a little class at a little space he was renting in Hollywood to actually owning, him and his wife, a very prominent theater here in LA called the Actors Company Theater. And that's where I do the majority of my shows. And I have always since I've been home. There,
ladies and gentlemen, this is why you do not burn bridges.
Don't burn bridges. I mean, you know, you never know. You never know.
So I didn't know that. I think that is fantastic. But I want to circle back for everybody real quick. Something you said that was so powerful, which was, this is why you just got to go do it, because you never know what God has laid out for you, what people he's got waiting for you to partner up with and going to help your vision come to pass. But it won't happen if you just don't go do it. So I love that. I think that's.
And they showed me love, you know, knowing that I'm a single mother, knowing that I was self-producing, I was working to produce my shows. So, you know, allow me to do payment plans because their spaces are not cheap. You know what I'm saying? But it's worth every dollar that you spend. Yeah. You know, just being in that world and having those relationships, you know, they really work with me. And I'm grateful. I just gave myself a timeline. I would give myself a deadline to it. I had to have the show written by. I would put out the casting calls. I would go find the actors. I would run my own auditions, you know, and I've been very lucky over the last 7 years to kind of build up a team of actors that I can always rely on who are reliable. Because that in itself is tough. You know, the actors that I work with.
You just got your people you go to.
I do. and it's a blessing.
Yeah.
It's a blessing.
Clap it up for that. All right, so now because you've done more than plays, and we spent a little time on that, which is, man, that, yeah, I didn't know. That is so motivating. So real quick, I'm gonna slide this in real fast, and then we're gonna move on. Nina low key is like my hero. Okay, and I'm gonna tell you why, because let me share it. So Nina left corporate America and is doing the very thing that I've been wanting to do, and she knows. I'll text her every now and then, like, yo, boom, boom, boom. But she's out there doing it. Somebody that I know, that I call a friend, and so salute to you. You are truly an inspiration, because you just said,
I appreciate that. Stop.
Nah,
Cut
it's
it
cool.
out.
Let me give you your flowers, man, because you're doing
I
it.
appreciate that.
You're doing it.
I
All right, so
appreciate that.
we're gonna move off that, but I did want to say that to you, is that you truly are an inspiration. But now you moved off the show, the not moved off, but you got the plays, but then you transition into a little bit of like YouTube shows, and you got a little short film that you did. I don't. What came first? First and foremost, did you establish Nina Child, the production company, first? Correct. That thing
Right.
goes through that, including the plays.
Everything goes through that, including the plays. Yeah. And then after the plays, I did a short called Bitter with a producing friend of mine that I've known since fourth grade. Then after Bitter, I did what did I do after Bitter that was film wise? I think that what came after Bitter? It's so crazy. I think that
It's not the
Reborn
baby,
came after
right?
Bitter.
Which one?
Yeah, the baby, the pilot about the doll. So I've shot 2 short films and 2 pilots as well. And then I have my Instagram series that's live on Instagram right now on my IGTV called
Okay.
Stare.
Right. So
Yeah.
we're gonna get to that because that's kind of where you're at right now. But let's rewind to the doll.
Right.
Let's rewind to the doll. So real quick though, and I don't know it's because of friends or relationship things like that, but you had established actors do your pilot. Like this wasn't no knock to people who aren't coming up, but these weren't like Joe Schmo from the block. Like you had established actors do this.
Oh, absolutely. Cherry Johnson from Punky Brewster and Family Matters was in the pilot. So was Brandon Adams, who's become a really good friend of mine. Brandon and Cherry actually both are really good friends of mine. Nice. That I talk to all the time. So it was a blessing to have, because they're both like childhood heroes of mine. Right. They're both incredible actors. Brandon's still living in LA and working. Cherry is living down south, but she's still working, producing and doing things like that. It was the most professional set I've ever run. It was the most money I've ever spent. I had a camera crew that was about $1,100 a day. Ooh. And, and they were professionals, lighting, sound, everything. Still to this day, the catering, all of it, it was definitely a moment for me. Makeup, wardrobe, hair, so we had everything.
Let me ask you about that, because you put on a not a big budget, but a big budget for regular people like me. Production, right? How did you? Was it relationships? Like, how did you go and reach out to these actors and then these crews? Like, was it like the whole Nina attitude? Like, I'm gonna make this happen. It don't have nothing to do with who they are. We just gonna do this. Tell me a little bit about the attitude you had.
It always starts with a mindset. Yeah, it started with my mindset first, but it also came down to relationships. My cousin is a makeup artist in the industry. She's the one that connected me with the film crew because she works with them on a lot of productions for UMC and a lot of really professional stuff for CBS. So she brought those guys on for me and she did the makeup. Everybody was paid, of course. And then as far as social media makes people accessible. I just reached out to Cherry. Cherry's dope. You know what I'm saying? Like, I reached out, she reached back. We kind of kept in touch. And then I was like, I'm trying to get Brandon. Brandon is a little reclusive. You know what I'm saying? If you follow Brandon on social media, he'll pop out every now and again. He's a very private guy. Shout out to him. But I kind of had to chase him down for some months. Okay. And when I eventually got to his ass, because I got to some people who knew him. And he was like, yeah, she has been trying to get to me. So he finally reached back. And then I was able to kind of like secure that bag. And then, once we did the pilot, we just kind of like just clicked. And me and him actually are working on some projects together as well. So that's coming up. And I got a big project that I'm working on in New York City right now that I will, for the first time, talk about on your show, if you're cool with that.
No, go ahead. You do it right now. Go ahead. That's
well, okay, cool. Well, I'm really excited to announce that I'm actually co-writing a one-man show with Shaim, the Rugged Child, who is like a Wu-Tang affiliate.
Yeah.
So that's in the works right now. He's a really busy guy too. He's got a lot going on. He's doing a one-man show. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be opening in New York in 2022.
Okay, breaking news. You heard it first right here on Money Mindset. Let's go.
You did.
So
you did.
You know what's funny? Side note, but like, Instagram has been bubbling with his name because Nori got Drink Champs and he kind of dropped some language he probably shouldn't have dropped. And Shaheem's name has been circling a lot on the gram, so it's funny that you would mention him right now in the midst of all this.
Well, it's funny that I was there during all of that. This just happened this past week, and
right,
we had writing sessions in New York last week, and I was there front and center for all of that actually.
Well,
so I got tea that I won't be spilling. That I won't be spilling.
Yeah. I was about to say I'm not going to dig. I won't push for that, but that's dope.
Right.
So
that was interesting.
Are you still in New York now, or?
No, I actually just got back. I just got back. Was it yesterday or the day before yesterday? I'm still kind of like in a fog. It was a long week, but yeah.
I appreciate you doing the show with me. So,
oh, absolutely.
Yo, that's crazy. That's what's up. Congratulations. Look at you trying to take over.
You gotta come. New York is your hometown. You need to come to the show.
I'm coming.
I got a ticket for you if you can come.
I will come. It's in New York.
Yeah, you got it.
It's done. Consider it done. I will be right there. So first of all, look at you trying to take over both sides of the coast. What are we doing?
I have to. I have to. No, what we're doing? We're trying to get on. You already know what we're doing, Marcus, and I'm bringing you with me.
Right,
we already talked about it.
Let's go. This is what we have. All right. So now let's transition real quick because for the sake of time, I want to kind of get to it, even though you did just drop that plug, which is fantastic. So you do this big production, at least in comparison to what the things you've done up to that point, and you did it on your own, right? This is like you went and kind of got the money for this, okay? And we do the pilot. So now from the pilot, what is your mindset? Is your mindset is let me focus on this. If it gets on, then I'll move on to other things, or are you like whether this get picked up or not, I did it. Let's keep going.
The funny thing about this industry is some things take a while. Like my mentor, Robert Townsend, it took him 10 years to get the funding and secure what he needed to create the 5 Heartbeats. And that was like a whole journey that he had to go through. You know what I'm saying? Like Keenan was on, then had to fall off because he got in Living Color and it just looked like everybody around him was taking off while he just was like pushing this one thing. And it took him 10 years, but it's like a cult classic. You know what I'm saying? Within our community. So what I learned from him was that sometimes things just take time. And I'm not the kind of person that's ever going to put all my eggs in one basket and stop. So the Reborn pilot's already been created. That's already secure. I've got another sketch show pilot that I'm pushing called NCP Presents. And then I've got the Instagram series. It's really all about in this business, just kind of like showing consistency and growth. You can't stop. You know what I'm saying? Once one project is done, when it sells, it sells. Until then, I'm moving on to the next thing. What's next? You just got to keep going.
And you're talking about a brother who, he did Hollywood Shuffle with credit cards. Like, Robert did a few projects before the 5 Heartbeats ever came out. A lot of people don't even know half the catalog he was working on even before that. So
absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a hero of mine. I love his Robert.
Absolutely. He's a legend.
Look, I'm still trying. I put it out there annually. Annually, I put it out there. I'm trying to get a copy of Meteor Man. I can't find Meteor Man nowhere. I need a copy.
What are you trying to get, a DVD or a VHS? Because you can stream it.
VHS. I got a VHS. I'm trying to get a DVD, but people be on Amazon tripping. They be trying to drop like $200 for Meteor Man. Like, yo, you talking.
What? I might be able to get you a copy from him. I'll see.
Yeah, if you could do that, Nina, let me tell you something. You already my hero. I ain't gonna, but you be even more my hero. You be my hero.
I'm making no promises, but I'll see.
All good. All right, so we got the pilot. You moving on to the other shows. Have you transitioned to a place yet where you are now putting energy in other people's projects, or are we still like I'm trying to work my production company, and then once I get there, I'll be taking on other people. I'm just curious where you are now professionally.
Well, yeah, I mean, especially with what I'm, the work that I'm doing with Shy, I'm definitely putting energy into, his project, but I'm really only looking to work with people who are serious, about what they're doing and putting forth the effort. Because what you'll find out, once you get going is that once people see that you have the fortitude to get something done from start to finish, a lot of people will reach out and try to collab.
Just to ride your coattail.
Right. No, not even that. It's just the issue becomes like, how much work are you willing to put in for your project?
Right.
Versus how much work do you expect me to put in for your project?
I love it.
And that's where the disconnect happens,
Got you. So people come in with the wrong expectation just because you on, they think, all right, well, Nina's gonna do most of the work. I'm gonna just reap the harvest.
Exactly.
Got you.
Exactly.
Well, okay. So let's move production company to the side because I want to talk about challenges we got about 10 minutes left. I want to talk about challenges that you face and how you overcome. What would you say from transitioning from having a job, being a mom of two children, to trying to get into this industry? What would you say have been some of the biggest challenges that you faced? And then how did you overcome those challenges?
Well, the biggest challenge for me is just juggling, trying to go after this career in entertainment with my children. Because, excuse me.
It's all right.
I ended up like dying during your interview. I'm like choking to death.
It's okay. You're so choked up about this experience. I get it.
I mean, try not to like die. But also just to let people know, it's tough doing this being a mom, especially with, having, a lot of people don't know, both of my children have special needs. So I don't have typical children. So even something as simple as going to New York for a week is a feat because I have to secure, reliable childcare, which is usually leaving them with my mom. I have to focus on their education. I'm single. I'm primarily raising them on my own. I don't have the strongest support system for them right now. So it's a lot of juggling. And in this industry, it's kind of like long hours. You got to get up and go. Nobody gives a shit about that. It's like, 12 to 16-hour days sometimes. And trying to do that with them has been tough. I purchased a home 4 years ago. And just trying to juggle that, I just purchased an RV, which is another business venture that I'm doing by myself. So I just like to just load my plate up and then cry into it. No, I'm just kidding. No, but that's essentially me. Like,
I'm just serious.
Stressed out can I get?
Right.
Let me throw something else on my plate. But yeah, no, definitely juggling childcare needs with, career chasing has been the challenge.
Okay, so with that being said, what is it that keeps you going? Like because that's a lot. And I want to talk a little bit about special needs because that's the connection you and I have together.
Absolutely.
But before I get to that, like what is it that keeps you from going, this is too much, I'm bugging, let me go back to whatever where there's good insurance and all that?
Oh, my kids.
Okay.
Yeah, like I mean the Achilles heel is the reason why I keep going. Like, you know what I mean? Like that because I need a lot of money. Yeah. I need to be able to create special needs trusts, which is something that I'm working on. I need to make sure that when I'm gone, their futures are completely secure. And I mean, in the day and time that we live in, it's tough. You know what I'm saying? And also, too, wanting to be a resource to this community, because when it comes to the special needs community, especially in the inner city with Black and brown kids, the resources are just not there. Yeah. Especially for kids that are my son's age, from the ages of like 10 to 18, there's not a lot of resources. And I want to become a resource. I want to open up centers for special needs teens. I'm trying to get vans. I'm trying to do all of that through a nonprofit. And initially I was trying to wait until the funds were there, but lately it's just been on my heart to kind of like not wait. I really don't wait for much else. So I think I'm going to start building and pushing into that sector within the next 6 to 8 months.
Well, and you know what, Nina, like with everything else you've done, who knows what's waiting on the other end of that, right? One thing might help the other. And
absolutely.
So I agree. I think you should just go after it. So if we could just for a second dive into that. So most people who know me know that I have special needs children as well, which is how we connected. on top of that, the acting thing, we connected on that as well. And then of course,
And we're both just silly, hilarious goofballs because we laughed all day long.
Probably way too much, probably more than we should have been laughing.
Man, that's why we all got fired. Like, and this is what we have.
Right. Look, remember our little section of the building would just be mad loud because we were just cutting up.
We would be cutting up, having a good time, right?
Yeah, I love it. But real quick, because that's a mindset within itself.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people who are on the outside looking in have different, thoughts about what it means and what to raise a kid with special needs and what you should be doing versus what you should not doing. But you can attest to this. What I've learned is if you don't have special needs kids, you really don't know shit, to be honest.
You don't know shit, and you shouldn't be saying shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't understand the struggle because it's tough to raise typical kids, but raising kids, and by the way, hats off to you and Chrissy. You guys have done a phenomenal job with your children. Even working together to make sure they can get as far as they can go. I have to take my hats off to you guys for that because, it's hard. It's really hard. And so, we have our challenges, but with my kids, I've always just focused on pushing them as far as they can go. I pretty much talk to them like they're typical. I treat them like they're typical, and they're life skills kids. They have a lot of great skills. They can do a lot for themselves. They're both at great schools right now. And it's just that, hey, but everything that I'm doing it for them. I'm trying to leave this place a little bit better for them, for sure. And kids like them because they go through a lot.
Yeah, no, and one thing that you said, and it's going to help transition to the next piece, which is your advocacy. But one thing you said is so important is the resources, especially for people that look like us, and children who look like ours, is the resources either not there or the information isn't readily available. It's one of the two. And one thing that I've realized is if we don't speak up, no one else does. And someone has to say, this is ridiculous. Like, how do you not know that this is available to you? But it's because they don't make it available. There are certain areas, I can't speak on Compton, but there are certain areas in different states that I've been in that have great resources, but they don't say nothing. They don't make that information readily available to you.
Well, Compton has no resources. I can speak on Compton.
All right, talk about it.
There are no resources here for the special needs community in Compton. And, I've tried to use my political relationships to go to the table and say, hey, look, being that I've gone through this for the last 13 years, let me just get a page on your city website to list the resources. IHSS, SSI, the regional center, different programs that are in the surrounding cities, different organizations that I chair on and work with, that you can involve your children with. And that's just as simple as just giving me some web space so that I can make some phone numbers and websites available. But I haven't even been able to do that yet. You know what I'm saying? And I've been fighting to do that for 4 years. So, it's crazy. It's insane.
Wow, that is crazy. And it's crazy that what you're asking for, to me, doesn't sound unreal at all. Like, let me just get a little section of your page, list some numbers, boom, boom, boom. That's all we asking.
That's it.
So, Nina, you are, first and foremost, an incredible woman. I appreciate you for all that you're doing.
Oh, I appreciate you saying that.
But I gotta ask, writing, producing, pushing these different projects, going to New York, special needs kids, and advocating for the city of Compton, because if y'all follow Nina on Instagram, whoo, let me tell you, she advocates.
I'm blocked on Facebook right now. I was a little worried. I'm like, he gonna be on Facebook Live. I hope I gotta go through my Facebook because I am in Facebook jail.
You in Facebook jail right now?
Absolutely. Behind some Compton political shit. I promise you. No lie. I got about 18 days left on my sentence.
You are a mess. So, but my point is, why, how, why, what? Like, how do you muster up the strength, the mental toughness, you mentioned fortitude, to take on it's one thing to be a parent. It's another thing to be a parent of special needs kids. It's another thing to be a parent of special needs kids, essentially doing it for the most part on your own. And then on top of that, you're trying to get into one of the busiest, hardest industries to get into as a woman, as a Black woman, at whatever other thing you want to add to it in California, where everybody goes to get into this industry. Oh, and then by the way, I want to fight for my city too. Like, so you did say you were a little bit crazy, so we got that part. So we got that part, but like, what's the driving factor behind that to do all that?
I mean, we all have a limited amount of time here on this earth, you know what I'm saying? And I mean, I just really feel like you have to kind of capitalize and maximize with the time and what God has given you. And even these kids that he's given me are a driving source. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to go hard for that community. I want to go hard for Compton because I'm a taxpayer and I have equity here because I have a home here. You know, I want to get into the entertainment industry because I feel like, you know, as Black people in entertainment, we're revolutionizing the game right now. You see what's happening? Right. Some of the best TV shows and scripts are coming out. Some of the most brilliant, creative Black minds are being showcased right now. And just to be here to see it and be a part of it has just been such a blessing. And so, I mean, you know, my driving, motivating force is just the God in me that's saying, you know what, girl, you got a limited amount of time here. Balls to the wall while you're here. You know what I'm saying? So that when you're gone, you can just try to leave every place that you touched a little bit better than it was from before, you know? That's it.
So that's at the end of the day, the God in you, and I'm just trying to leave this place better than it was when I got here.
That's all of our responsibility. Every single one of us.
I love it. So in the next 5 minutes, tell me what's next for Nina. What's you mentioned the Shaheem project. What else is going on? What's next?
So that's that. Yeah, definitely working on the project with Shaheem the Rugged Child. You guys follow him on Instagram, Shaheem_Rugged. And follow me too on Instagram, Nina Being a Child. We're definitely just trying to get that show out. I'm going to be working on a new sketch for NCP Presents that I'm putting out for Christmas. It's going to be a little crazy. And I'm also writing on a children's show right now. And I have a studio here in LA that I partner with 4 other people. We're putting out content. So I have a sneaker podcast out right now that I produce called The Connoisseur. If you're a sneaker fan, make sure you follow them on Instagram. Every week, a different episode. We're talking about Dunks. We're talking about Chucks. We're talking about Air Force Ones, J's, foam posits, you know, if you're into sneakers. And then we've got wrestling matches that we put on here in the city that are live. We just did one yesterday. And we have a wrestling company called Compton Mania that's out of Compton. And they're doing their thing with the wrestling. It's a lot. I mean, I got my hands in a lot. And so, you know, if you follow me on Instagram, you'll see a little bit of what we got going on. And primarily what's next is just more content, Marcus. More content. We're going to be working on your film next. What's up with that?
Let's go. So, you know what? I'm glad you said that because I'm gonna bring that up real quick. I'm gonna give you some more flowers. So I kind of posted it for everybody that follows me, but the one thing the coronavirus did, it lit a fire underneath me to do something I've been wanting to do for a while, which is write a film. And y'all heard Nina's schedule. Y'all heard everything that she's doing. So I hit her up and I go, hey, I wrote this flick, you know, would you mind taking a look at it? And Nina hits me right back, like, absolutely, send it to me. Yeah, I would love to read it. And I'm like, okay, again, you hear her schedule. So I sent it to her and it was not long at all. This wasn't weeks, this wasn't months. This was literally like a couple of days. She had read it, sent it back to me. And here's what I appreciate about you. You could have been like, oh, this is really good. And yeah, you should really do something with this. Instead, you was like, look, how serious are you about this? Because it's good, but, and then she started going ham on everything that was wrong, and not in a bad way, just like on some instruction, like, yo, boom, 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 boom. As an industry insider, it was very constructive. It was very, like, I can tell that you outside this industry, so let me put you on to what these people are looking for. And yo, that was awesome for me. Like, go ahead.
Let me just say, I do not read other people's scripts. People hate doing that. I don't do that for very many people. You know what I'm saying? But it's like, you're my guy. And I mean, and I think that it's a great story. It's just that, you know, these people are sticklers about, you know, all of those things that we talked about in the notes.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? And so,
Yeah.
but I also gave you what I be looking for when I send people scripts. Because what I get back is, oh my God, it's so great. Nah, nigga, it's not. Because there's a reason why I'm not all the way on yet.
Right.
That's what I need you to dissect while you're reading this.
Right.
Period. I'm always looking for a constructive eye. I don't like yes men. And you know, some people just want to give you kudos because you got something done. We got to get past that.
Right.
Because there are
right.
lots of people out there, it's very competitive. They're getting stuff done and they're on.
Right.
We got something done, but we're not on. So there's something missing there. And so that I'm always going to approach it from that perspective. If I actually read your shit, which I usually don't. You know what I'm saying? I only do this for people who are near and dear to me.
Well,
you know?
first and foremost, I love you so much for doing it because you didn't have to.
I love you, period.
And yeah, but here, let me give you flowers because I knew that what I was getting into by sending it to you. Like I knew, like Nina, if she reads this, she's gonna let me have it, which is what I wanted. But the amount of detail that you put into your criticism was fire for me. And then y'all, on top of that, this wasn't even it was written. And then she was like, yo, let's get on the phone so I can tell you a little bit more about, it'll be better if we just talk about it. And we get on the phone and chop it up. And she's like, yeah, you know, boom, boom. Like she made sure I understood the why behind it. Oh, even though I never took it as from a place of, yo, she tearing my shit up. but
I'm sure you did. I'm sure you did.
But she, but you took, like, damn, Nina.
No.
But the fact that you even said, yo, let's get on the phone so I can break down what I mean by this was even another layer of love. And I just appreciate that because we got on the phone, we chopped it up, and you was like explaining like, yo, boom, boom, this. If you fix this, is what they're looking for. And then it said, matter of fact, go check this out and you'll see what and this will give you an idea. Boom, boom, boom. So I appreciate that for you. With that being said, yes, I am working on those, fine-tuning those details, Nina, that you instructed me. And I thank you again for even taking the time out. But I'm not giving it back until I'm ready because I know I gotta be ready to approach you. So when I'm ready, when I have it.
And don't take too long.
No.
Get it done so we can start filming.
I love it. I feel the energy. I agree with what you said. Like the time is now. It's a great time to be a Black filmmaker. Despite the challenges. Despite the challenges. Now is the best time to be a Black creative because they're letting you in now. You know what I'm saying? They're letting you in now. You just gotta have something. You gotta have something for them. You gotta have content. You know what I'm gonna do, Nina? I'm gonna do something that I haven't done due to leaning on work. Is I'm gonna give myself a deadline. Like, you know what? I'm gonna have this by this. Like just what you just said. I'm gonna give myself a deadline. See, look, change the game. You're gonna change my mindset.
Give yourself a deadline. That's what works. Because some people will spend 5 or 10 years on a script, and it's like unless you writing Dancing with Wolves, knock it the fuck off. Like, I'm sorry, excuse my language. Yo, no. Unless you're writing the next $1 million baby, let's get this done because you don't have 5 or 10 years. You got 5 or 10 weeks. Yeah. Get it done. You know, and then on the heels of that, get on to the next one.
Let's go.
Because once you get in, they're going to want more and more and more content. So it's best to just stack up your roster, stack it up. So that when you get that foot in, they're like, well, what else you got?
Right.
I'll be right back. I got you. You know?
Right back. I appreciate that, Nina. So yeah, I'm on it. I did actually start working on it, but my work was to go and do the research that you pointed me in a direction to go to, and I went and I was like, oh yeah, I see exactly what she's talking about. So now I just gotta take what I've learned and apply it. But you know, no excuse. I'm gonna go ahead and get that knocked out because you're right. Let's go.
It's your first script. Be easy on yourself. But we all had all those issues when we first started. You know what I'm saying? That's it. You just gotta keep going.
I appreciate you. Well, look, Nina, I'm gonna let you go because first and foremost, you've been traveling. You're over here choking up on my show and everything.
I almost died. 15 minutes in.
I don't need you falling out on camera, please.
You're still hilarious, I see.
Right. Marcus done had somebody straight fall out on the show. I don't need that. But I do want to say again, thank you so much for joining and being a part of this. I know you're busy. I know you got a lot going on, so I appreciate you.
It was a pleasure. I was excited when you reached out. I'm like, oh, I get to talk.
I love it. And let's make sure that we chop it up, obviously offline, because like you said, I definitely have some work to do, and I'm gonna be talking to you about it. And if you need a bald head light skinned actor, I'll come audition for you.
I know, yo. As soon as I can start flying people in and out, it's over. It's over. But I'm working to get to that point, though. You know what I'm saying? Definitely 2022.
Hey, I appreciate that, but look, I put gas in the gas tank and drive to Atlanta right now. I'll buy a plane ticket.
Oh, shoot. Well, there we go. Well, here, if you're willing to come down, then I got a role for you for sure.
I'll come out.
I'll write you into something.
Let's go.
Don't worry.
We'll take this offline.
Okay, we'll take this offline. But it was a pleasure. Thanks so much. And definitely let me know once we get a copy of this. I'd love to share it with my people.
Yeah. It's recording now, so I'll get that to you. But again, I appreciate you, Nina. Congratulations.
Absolutely.
For everything you've done, and continued success. Much continued success to you.
Absolutely. Same to you.
Awesome. Appreciate
Great catching up.
Yeah, let's go. We're gonna talk later.
Peace.
See you.
See you.
All right, y'all. So everybody, that was Nina Childs again. What a fantastic friend, fantastic woman. She's just awesome. I'm pulling up for you. She mentioned it, but go ahead and follow her on Instagram. Let me pull that up. You can find her at Nina Bina Childs is her Instagram. Nina Bina Childs. Go ahead and follow her on Instagram so that you can stay on top of everything that she's doing, the content that she's creating, and all the different ventures that she's got going on, including what you guys heard right here first on Money Mindset, the project she's got going on in New York. But yeah, so that wraps up August, and I can't wait for September. Now, September, we got less Mondays than we normally do. So I only got a couple shows in September. I might have to start changing this to additional Mondays because this is getting too crazy. But September is going to be even liver. We have CEO, owns a production company, streaming service, director, writer, actor, Michael Foster is going to be, I won't give his whole resume. Michael Foster is going to be here next month. We have a platinum leader, 6-figure trader, business owner, and just a phenomenal friend, mentor. Mello Haynes is going to be here, and he's going to be talking about trading, which you guys know I'm involved in. So you definitely, if you're ever interested in trading and investing, you definitely don't want to miss that one. But yeah, September's going to be, and then October, we got even more coming. So stay tuned in. And I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. Money Mindset. Salute. Peace.